Welcome. This is Crimey Queen, and if you're joining us for the first time, this is the channel where we get excited about love. This is where we ignite that which dwells from within us, that which comes alive, makes us smile. Hence, we say the crimson light is life. So, the crimson light is our journey to actualizing self-full love. This is where we have fun with words and numbers, numerology to be precise. So far, we have done a series of presentations. We have done features to actualizing self-full love. We have done um, on Eve and Christ and God, and really trying to get a sense of that which we feel has really played a very big role in our lives, that has shaped us, that has shaped not just us individually as a people, as a nation. We have been shaped by through this word called sacrifice, the sacrifice of Jesus Christ. So of course, with mixed emotions for many of us, we continue to seek answers. And so here I am venturing into understanding what constitutes that relationship that constitute the relationship with sacrifice, or the relationship with Christ. And so far we have discovered that, of course, Eve and Christ share very much the same attributes on this scale of sacrifice. The scale of sacrifice constitutes revelation, waters. It was water before, but of course, because I am doing this intuitively. I also have come to accept that I should stick to waters, having gone back through Genesis of chapter 1, and there was darkness on the face of the deep, and God divided the waters from the waters. So I thought, oh, waters, okay. Well, waters would really be 5, like Eve is 5, and like Christ is 5. Now, we don't have to think too far, go too far about wondering why Eve is 5. We can see as the feminine figure, we are, of course, more emotional. We constitute that, of course, water, in actual fact, we could call it emotions. Emotions are very much on the same par. Okay, so need not go too far into this. So had it been just water, we could also have equate this to the word Father, West, and present, which is all still very part of all of those factors. So we have had intuition, and if you have followed my presentations, for instance, on a wonderful discovery, I think, or distraction, I think I may have two similar presentations, but actually I was trying to do a presentation on water, and for some reason that wasn't really happening as easy as I thought. I thought I would just find out how many words that water consisted, and how it really played out in sacrifice. Of course, the word cry, CRI, it's not CRI, well, CRI, well, we could say cries, CRIES, yes, was in sacrifice. And so with that word, we know it's tears, and we don't need to really see the word here to understand that cries would be very much part of the word sacrifice, in that crucifixion of Jesus Christ, the story we have been taught. And so we have so on waters, that I was saying, it really had challenged me in that sense, where I thought it was going to be straightforward, but it wasn't. And in hindsight, I am now understanding why it was so. It's as if now I have got a clearer indication and clearer understanding of what it really entails when it says, and there was darkness on the face of the deep. It's as if it allowed me, or the whole aspect of wanting to do this presentation had more or less found a way to seep way down within me emotions that I was very much surprised to discover, to do with certain revelations that had transpired in this column. It was very heart-wrenching for me, and it had been one of the most difficult presentations that I have done ever, really. So I am now understanding what it really entails to say, and there was darkness on the face of the deep. I had to actually take a break from the waters, and then this is where I went on to the 1-2-1-2 presentation. So I've got some presentations called 1-2-1-2. So it was giving me an idea of having fun and take a break. It's like take a break when you can't really do much, you take a break, and that's what I was doing. And then I re-embarked on waters, and that's what happened. It's like it had spilled over. It had seeped out into corners of my being that I had not realized was there in that sense, on subjects that I had refrained from, on subjects that I thought I would never have to really embark on, or especially in a public realm, really make it a matter. But it really became very transparent that in this section, I became very concerned for what I felt and I saw, and I understood that in that 13, that B, which is formed as 13, it's also formed as 4, it's like 1 and 4. I have done many presentations on that, and I continue to do that, because I don't know if you're new to this, but it's really like having this. So Christ was at the table with 13 disciples, and this is the 13. But when the 13 have their agreement and they bond like this, you could say this is really strong. This is very strong. This is a bond. This is an agreement that happens. And this is where it was said, and Christ said, eat of my, and here we are again with the B. This is why I had become very emotional with this, because it's a B, and that B also had showed up in a card that I took, and there was a bee, the image of a bee, and it told me, well, I need to really study the bee. And then it was about a beehive. So the message intuitively was showing it is about a beehive. It's the same structure, the same thing that happens when bees are, really very busy bodies trying to make honey for the queen bee. And so it taught me how there are people who are using the same principles to control other people in here. And when this happens in this section, for instance, there is an agreement that takes place there, because no one can work together unless they come with agreement. I think the scripture says something together to that effect, is where two shall agree upon a thing, there it shall be. So this is two, where two or more shall agree. It's not saying, so that two could be with yourself, because if you have followed my presentations, I do talk about that W. Now that B is also part of that W, because when you are agreeing to something, you are agreeing to another. This is a part of yourself you are acknowledging, or you are inviting or engaging with. So this B here is also a W. It also is the breast that people are milking from. It's also the breast that nourishes the babies, and it's the bottle of wine that you drink from. It is the basket of bread, and it's the blood that Jesus Christ spoke about when he says, as long as you do this, as often as you do this, often, let's see the word often, That's 10 and 2, 12, and 12 and 6 is 18, and 4 and 6, 18 and 6 is 24. Now we see that 24 goes really as often as you do this. When the word often is used, it actually has resonated very directly on that frequency of who you are, because you are 24 in truth. The word truth, which comes to 24, 2 and 4 is 6. So that's what happens then. Then we have, by the way, just to let you know, the word intuition, which we have also invited in, and waters, which we have invited in, like I was saying earlier, are really to be present in our presentation. So we call them forth to be present and make manifest that which we are seeking to resolve, to grow, to whatever it is that can help us in this time and now. So back to the blood. And then Christ said, as long as you do this, remember you are having my flesh, that is bread, and you are having your drinking of my blood. Now, in really now, I am thinking perhaps it's because of so much that is happening now that people have taken this to be so literal, having flesh and blood. I'm wondering, couldn't there not have been something else to have used in to make this point, or my subconscious mind or my higher self, like we do now? I think that would have been, or something like more invisible. But I suppose it seemed to have elicit, we tend to want a physical representation, something tangible, and perhaps that's what was happening in that, at the table with the 13 and 13 seated at the table. So we talk about 13. So there was 12 disciples and Christ meant 13, and this is the 3. So we talk about this 13. We close this together and they become 4. So we know this is 13. We also know it is 4. If we put an L here, which is the equivalent, L, equivalent of 3, because that's what 3, anything like this that you put on there, where 3 is flexible. It's really like a worm. You can stretch it and it would stretch out. You see it walking very straight, or crawling rather, and then you touch it and then it curls to a 3 or an S. So we've got this 3 here. We have another 3 here, which is 6 on top of this 4. We could say is 10. So this already gives us 10. Or if it were the 13 and we put 6 on that 13, that would be 22. 2 and 2 would be 4. Now 4 is also very tight in that it is representing 4 corners of the earth. So we see that there is, and of course there were 13 disciples. I was going to say 3 fours are 12, but of course 3 fours are 12 in that sense that Christ knew that he was living, and it was his 12 disciples that this was done specifically for them, or for the purpose of the significance of the lesson of, as often as you do this, remember me. So, of course, there were other parts to this that we learned that was very significant and symbolic, and I'm talking about that. On the timer, it's 13:41 right now. So we're talking about 13, and this is why I call it intuition, and I call this forth because this is how we have been doing these discoveries of Eve, and seeing Eve as 14, 1 and 4 is 5, and also Christ is 32, that 2 and 3 is 5. But also we have gone further into this learning that has showed us some miraculous and really wonderful revelations as Eve and Christ being the same. It's as Christ also with the Last Supper in particular. We shall cover this area as well. As Christ in the Last Supper, the bread signify, this is the point I really want to make. It follows and it ties in with the last presentation as well. The last presentation, I think I have done it on the title, I am a worm, maybe number 2, but we are sticking to, and we probably just stick to this. So when Christ said, I am a worm, no man. So we've done this presentation where we saw no man equaled 21. I am a worm. I think there were 3 21s on that presentation, and that was intuitively done. And every addition that we were doing, like the woman, was 21. Well, in case you're new to this, but this is 5, 1, 4, 6, 5. So this is 10, this is 15, 20, 21. So we saw that happening, and he says, I am. And this is where we come with this I am that I am. So, and it's just really worked out so wonderfully. So I am is also 5. And that, let's do that again, THAT. So that's 2, 1, 8, 2. So this is 10 and 3 is 13. So 13 is, we see that 13 is transpiring in, so when Christ said, I am that, so we could see how that I am, which goes into 5, and that is that 13 is transpired in that bond stage again. In fact, when he says I am a worm, so I am a worm, not that, it's I am a worm, but we were doing this to see that the numerical value, it was on this one that the numerical value and Eve added up just the same. So let's just clarify with Eve first. So I am that, we'll just do this. I am is 5, and it was really 5, 4, 5. So I am that is 5. We have 5, 9. It equals 9. Let's, okay, 9. And AM is 5. We'll stick a little 5 here. And that is 4. So we'll do 4 here. Just to balance, we'll put 2 here and 2 here just to balance the cheeks. So this is 5 and 9 again, but I am, because it's like adding 9 and 5, so we know it's 5. So we'll just stick that 5 here, just on top of her lip, you know, upper lip. So we have 5, I am, and that, which is 2 and 2, 4, and I am is also 5. So when we add this together, we see 5 and 5, 10 and 4, 14 equals 5. Now we get the same thing when we do add Eve, EVE. This is 5, 4, 5. We get the same numerical value here, 14. When we add 4 and 4, 5 and 4, 14, and it's 5. So here we are seeing that Eve is very much, this is where we thought, okay, when God said to Moses, I am that I am. Now, Christ says, I am but a worm. I am no man but a worm. So this is where we saw that we will examining these issues. So now we've already seen God is saying, I am that I am. So we see the numerical value for God here in this case is really adding us 5. And this is also where he says, I am the beginning and the end. The word end really coincides perfectly with 5, because this is 5, 4, no, 5, 5, 4. So this equals 14. So God is the end here. And the beginning, beginning, I know also equals 9. I've done the numerical value on other presentations. So 5 and 9. So we see God is 5 and 9. And if we were to add this, that comes to 14 as well. 1 and 4 equals 5. So there are two aspects here where God is showing, where God is presenting himself as 14 in I am that I am, and also I am the beginning and the end. And this is a presentation I also want to bring into the Alpha and the Omega, but we'll do that at another stage. Let's just now come back to Christ with the Word. Okay, so I am. There was I am no man. I think it was I am no man. I am no man. I hope I've got it right. I am no man. Okay. So no is 11 and I am is 5. So we see I am no, that is 7, and man, that would be, okay, that's 1, that's 8. So here we see I am no man. I think I'll have to revisit the text to have the exact words on this presentation, and perhaps it's but let's just hold on to this thought that Eve and God have showed the same value, numerical value on various on 2 points here, the beginning and the end, and also Eve also with Christ. Let's do this. Christ also equals Christ. Christ also equals 5. And the other thing with Christ also confirms that when you are in Christ, you are a new creature. So you come into that 5 column. So you are in that new where the eyes are open, because it was also said that this is where Eve opened her eyes. In fact, this is where we found out that Eve had her eye open. That was where she was at that point here that the eye was open. Okay, but I'm thinking as well that there was something about Christ's words when he said, I am a worm. This is what it was. I'm missing that. Yes. So let's go on with it. I am a worm. That's what it was. Okay. So it's 9 and 5 and 1. And so that's what I was remembering, the W's and the M's, which are like 3s. And that's what I believe that Christ was emphasizing, these points, the W, the M. It's like in the M here. This is, in fact, I did miss that M in the last section. So this is an M here. And this is a W here, and this is another W here. So we have 3 M's here. So I am a worm. So this is 5, 6, 9, 4. So this is 15, 20, 24. So we have 24 here. And so 2 and 4 is 6. So we see this here. So, so 6 and 1, 7, and 5, 12. 12 and 9 is 31. 31, is it? 12 and 9. 21. 21. So this is, yes, this is what I got with the other presentations that I've just done. And the bell is ringing. So according to my grandma, I am speaking the truth. So 21, that means it's 6 o'clock. Okay, right. 6 o'clock. Oh, don't even know about today's date. Okay, it's a nice way to live sometimes, not worrying too much about what day it is. Okay, so I am a worm. This is 3, and there was no man, no man. And that was the point that got me, because there's actually a comma. And it's like wondering, well, what are you saying? And we are not really into taking Christ just lightly, because Christ didn't just talk. He meant something when he spoke. So we have no man. So this is another M. So in actual fact, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 M's. So this is 11, 5 and 6, 11. And then we have 4, 1, 5, which is 5 and 5, 10. So this is the number of man. Again, another number of man. Okay, so we have this here. So no man, this is 3, 3 here. Right, so we see another 3 has transpired here. And I'm going to, of course, go over this again, because we have 3 threes here. And then it was like, I thought, okay, at that point, what do we say? If you are saying, I am a worm, no man. It's like an emphasis of saying, I am a worm, not a man. Okay, and of course, the only thing that's missing here is that T, which is usually done where in that T also transpires in this section here. Now, I'm believing that this is also perhaps it's really done deliberately to get us to be really having this exploration under that T that is missing, to say not, but it's no man. And there we see E is here. Eve, it comes from here to this 4 section, because the numerical values we have been doing here is really from 1 to 5 in essence. So it's 1 to 5, and Eve really takes us into that new, which is number 5, that new column. Okay, so we see, and I thought, okay, well, if you are saying no man, a worm, no man, and we know what worms are. And I have been going on about these presentations, and have been seeing what this 3 does in this column. This 3 is really it's that wave, and it's like I said, it's like I could see a lot of 3s just moving all around. It's like vibration, and that's what we are. And I suppose I'm able to sense this as well, being even very sensitive to being a female. The fact that, I'm not saying that it can't happen for a man, but so, of course, and I had also done some presentations showing that we are W no matter where we are. So we had 4, that's 1, 2, 3, and in the woman, so we said, well, a woman. If you are a woman, well, if you're not a man, you're a woman. This is what I'm saying here. So we see there was 2, yeah. So actually there would be woman. Oh, yes. I was thinking it was 5W, so man. So this is 5, 1, 4, 6, and 5. Yes, so we've done this. So this is 5 and 11. Sorry, this is 10 and 11 is 21. So woman, so we see 21 here, we see 21 in this here, and there was also another 21 that I had, but I'm going to have to do that in the next presentation. So the other 21s that we had, of course, we saw, which reminds us that blood, because it's as if all of Christ's actions were really trying to present an element of the female, of his mother, or the sensitive side. It's like blood. And of course, being female, in fact we really don't hear about men shedding or people drinking of men's blood, but you could hear it of female. So he was really saying, hey, blood, and this is of my blood, you know. So when we do blood, 2, 3, 6, 6, 4, this is 10, this is 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So we see the word blood comes to 21. And so, what is all this saying to us? There, Christ is saying, I am a worm and I've been despised by men. You know, I haven't done the numerical value on that part, which I will do, but I just thought I would go with this that I have been covering. And then we have bread. BREAD. So this is 4, this is 1, this is 5, this is 9 and 2. So 5 and 5, 10 and 9, 19 and 2 is 21. So what's all this with 21? So is it no wonder, any wonder that it is also said that 21 days is what we need, you know, to break a habit or build a habit? Because it is got its root in here. 21 has got its root in here, in this column here. It comes under the 2 column, and of course that column with the sacrifice templates, this is 2 and this is 1, or 1 and 2, which forms that 3. So we are seeing that this column, which comes under, this is where Eve starts on the hair, it's like offering so much. This our hair is like, remember, the beginning. The beginning is hair. This hour with revelation. Also hair. So these 2 points are matching here. Revelation, and this here is end, beginning and end. Now I'm just going to repeat again, this R and this E in Revelation is the exact numerical value for the first word of the Bible. I-N. I equals 9, 5 equals end. I equals 9 and N equals E. And here we have RE. That's why we are able to do this. When we are writing, we are able to do RE regarding, or in reference, it's regarding whatever it is, because that it alone is already capturing the essence of whatever it is. And that equals 14. So at 14, it puts you in a position of being able to oversee whatever is. So this here, we see that blood, bread, Christ, all of these and comes into play here. And another word when I'm talking, because I've been talking about agreement, as I say, I have been doing these intuitively and had not some of the letters or words that I am doing, I am just going along with it. Of course, this time round I have been spending a little time and going over certain words that I thought was and they just come out. It's like the word breathed, for instance. Also it equals 12. Of course it's much more than that, but when I add the numerical values, it shows 12, meaning the numerical value would be 3. So we also have moon, which is what the feminine cycle is on, the moon. So we can see woman and moon are all on the same. Of course, we gain our intuition, we are told, on the moon cycle. This is what happens, the emotions. In fact, let's do emotion to see. This is 22. I've already added this, and it's MOT. I like that. This is what we do for our vehicles. We take it for an MOT. So this is 2 and 6 is 8, and 4 is 12, and 12 and 5 is 17. So 17 and 22 is 39. 3 and 9, this is interesting. 3 and 9 is 12. 1 and 2 is 3. So we see emotion is in direct correlation with woman, with blood, with bread, with with bread, blood, and all the threes that we have been talking about, and it's just really, and it's also in feminine as well. I've got this here, which is 12, feminine as well. So the word build, which you might be happy to check on this as well. So there are lots of words, in fact, lots of numbers correlating perfectly with woman, and really it's like Christ, either he was trying to really draw on or try and get that feminine recognition or that part of himself, or he was like going along and really wanting to know that we could be recognized, the feminine could be recognized. And it's the idea of saying, oh, Father, take that cup away from me. By the way, the word cup also equals 13. So we could see the word cup, CUP, 7 and 3, 10, 10 and 3 is 13. So we could see the cup at the Last Supper, that 13 also comes into this section here. So the 13 and the bread and all of those things they belong to the same sack. The sack that I have done the presentation on, that means the breast that feeds, that nurtures, and it's like, what if we were to really say the man and woman, who does the nurturing, who does the breastfeeding, who does the who cradles and all of those, and it's not saying no, the Father doesn't do that, but it's like we see the word dome as well, kingdom, the dome, which represents the breast, which represents that feminine aspect, wisdom. The dome aspect of it also equals 5, which is on the same correlation with Eve, which with 5. So I have done presentations to show how when Eve's eye was open I put her on this new path, and her eye was open. That's when she was able to give to the husband, and of course the story goes on. So I will do other presentations on this, and hoping that I can clarify the points that really needs to be expressed there. So I hope you have found this informative, and please leave your comments and share, because this is how we do it. We share to actualizing self-full love. Okay, stay blessed, stay bright, and be a field, because we are planting new seeds. Therefore, stay ignited. Namaste. And spill over with love.